Hi there, I'm Dennis. I'm the head coach for this morning, this early morning wake up and shake up run. We're gonna go through the park today and prepare ourselves for the race tomorrow. And it's also for promoting the Metaspeed Plus shoe.
This is a small elevator.
Guys, we are here. ASICS has set up a Speedlab to go over the latest in developments in the Metaspeed Sky Plus and the Metaspeed Edge Plus. It's not a number 2, it is a Plus, which I'm not sure why they didn't go to, because there are some major changes going on underfoot. So let's start off with carbon.
The function of a carbon plate. A lot of people kind of assume it's like a catapult or like a pole vaulting stick, where you apply a load to it and it helps to, explode the runner forward. What the reality of it is, however, is that the carbon plate acts more as a stabilizing component. So it helps to stabilize the high stack, low density foam and really guide the runner in a very efficient path from heel contact all the way to propulsion phase or toe off.
That was awesome. Next, we're gonna talk about the different types of blast foams in station number 2 of the Speedlab.
For 4-foot toe off, no change in drop or stack on the Sky Plus. A change though in the toe spring, it's a little more aggressive. If you look at the 2 versions, this visual kind of gives you a nice of what's happening there at the toe spring. You see 16% more foam volume and 4% increase in stack.
Alright, next up we're going to learn a little bit more about the Edge and Sky and what are the differences.
That there are 2 distinct types of running styles, and we were able to come up with 2 models designed differently to the different running styles.
What are some ways that people like at home could kind of decide whether one or the other is the right choice for them?
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple different solutions available at product launch. One of them will be like an online digital tool in terms of answering some questions. A lot of watches like Garmin, Coros, etc., they deliver your stride length and your cadence in terms of as an output when you're done running. And so it'll be as simple as inputting 2 of those metrics, and then it'll help steer you towards a preferred path.
Some people have been kind of differentiating in between, well, I'm a 4-foot striker, so I should get this one, or I'm a heel striker, so I should get the other one. Is that something that you guys have found, or is that like oversimplifying it?
So I would say it's a little bit maybe of an oversimplification to say that the higher offset of the Edge Plus might allow for a better heel striking experience. There's quite a bit more that goes into it in terms of the biomechanical approach as well.
Next, we're heading into Race Command, and we're going to talk about some more details about the special event that's going on tomorrow.
The first thing you need to know is why we went to Malaga. And we went to Malaga because we were looking for that fast area. So the location was South Europe, definitely, France, Italy, Spain was the option. Key city was on the brief as well, Sevilla, Valencia, Mallorca, we went. But when we arrived in Malaga, we've seen this boulevard, which is protected with the wind, from the wind, sorry, by the trees, and then a bit above by the building, we say this is where we should go. We have to go. We have to be present in that one. We have Mohamed Katir. Probably you heard about that, guys. He was extremely talented guys last year. He won all the national records in space: 1500 meters, 5000 meters, 3000 meters, and he also clocked an amazing PB on 10K, 27:45. So he's a man. Simon Bosch from Germany will go also for the national record. Pietro Riva from Italy will also go for a national record. Dagilos from France will also go for a national record, U23. So, I mean, are they going all of them to beat the national record? I don't know.
Snack time. Just left the hotel room, taking a break after some of the action this morning. Unfortunately, my main microphone, my shotgun mic, did not survive the trip here to Malaga. So I apologize for the audio quality this morning and still don't have a workable replacement solution. I do have other like podcasting mics, but those aren't really portable. Unless I have the person like holding the mic in an awkward way, it's not gonna work. So we're just gonna do the best we can with the audio. I'm gonna head back over there. I've got more interviews coming up today. Really excited about those. And hopefully it'll sound okay. So here we are with Emma Bates in Malaga, Spain. Fantastic location. Emma, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to be here, and yeah, just for this to be an ASICS event for us all to come together and get to meet other athletes and everybody behind the scenes has been really special.
Very cool, very cool. So I got the chance to run with you in DC. That was a lot of fun, and then I saw you were recently in Boston as well. Did you watch the race?
Yes.
Where did you watch it?
I was at mile 19 on the Boston course, so like right before like the last hill.
Okay. Encouraging the runners before they hit that last hard.
Exactly, trying to as much as I could.
All right. Now I've seen you before also watching and cheering on the runners at New York Marathon. Are you a fan of watching the marathon race?
I'm a huge fan of watching any marathon. I grew up watching like all of the races, and like when Dina Castor was at the top of her game, that was my favorite, just like seeing her like dominate every single race that she walked into. And so I've just been gearing up every single year to run the marathon. And you know, running in college, you can't do the marathon, you're doing like 10,000 meters. I've been itching, you know, since then to like get into the distance and do the training and get into my first race. So like when I, you know, did my first race at CIM, the US Championships, that was something that was just like so like ingrained in my mind of just like all of the, you know, hours of like that I've watched and just like cheered on people and seen like the inspiration that they've like instilled in me just to get out there and do my best. And so every time I go to a marathon, it's so much fun. And like I love racing marathons, but I love going and just like cheering on my friends and everybody that has just inspired me throughout the years or is continuing to inspire me or starting to inspire me. So like all of the younger runners and the first timers at Boston was something that was really cool to see and just like gets me more motivated for myself.
It seems like a lot of the Boss Hard team members are also fans of watching races. Is that a part of kind of the team culture that your guys are building out there?
Yeah, they're huge fans of the sport, but like they had never watched a marathon before. And so the first time they saw one was when they went to Chicago, a lot of them. And so they didn't really know what to expect, and they just loved it. They thought it was such a party, such a cool thing to experience. And like I made some fans out of my teammates with the marathon just because, yeah, it's just such a fun like atmosphere and something that's so much different than the track. Like there's so many people out there at so many different levels, and just to be inspired by everybody like going after their own goals. It doesn't even need to be, you know, making a team. It's just like going out there and trying to PR. That's really cool. And
so as you talk about your own goals, this year it seems like you're really focusing on World Championships.
Yes, that's the main thing. So I forewent a spring marathon just so that I could be, you know, ready and be able to put in the miles for this July.
All right, and then what do you think about the course that's going to be out there? It's going to be a loop course rather than like a point-to-point or even one giant loop. Is that a course that you think is going to suit you well?
I think so. It's really important for me to have people like spectators out there, like just have that kind of energy, that kind of atmosphere. And so I think it's going to be really spectator friendly. There's going to be a lot of people that are going. A lot of my friends and family are going to go. And so just having that kind of support is going to make me run so much faster for sure.
Very cool. And one last question. I think I'm going to be heading out to Boulder later this year. When I'm out there, best place for pizza?
Pizza. Oh man, Locali.
Okay.
Yes. Bobby Stuckey, who's also a marathoner, he owns a restaurant. He owns Frasca as well. So it's the best pizza in town by far.
Awesome. I'll definitely have to check them out. Sweet. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hey, we're here with McKenna Myler, athlete with ASICS, and today we're going to talk about some of her running background and some of her goals for the future. Hi, McKenna. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Glad to be here in Spain.
It's amazing here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really
Is this your first time in Spain?
Yes, but it honestly feels really familiar because it's like I grew up in Southern California, and it's very similar.
Okay.
So it's nice.
Cool. Now, I wanted to talk to you a bit about the runner's guide that you had written a while ago.
Yeah.
And then that you talked about that runner's guide and how important emotional support is for new runners.
Yeah. That actually stemmed from when I ran the Pregnant Mile, which you might be familiar with. And, you know, all the comments after, there was like a ton of people putting themselves down and kind of just saying a lot of negative things like, I can't even get up off the couch, or like just a lot of like degradation, you know. And I was talking to my husband about that, and I was like, maybe like we should do a guide that like supports like emotional health with running, because I think, and I mean even in like the elite and like competitive world, there's like a lot of association of pressure that comes with running, and a lot of like type A personalities, and they aren't like developing this like emotional and mental health as well. And so anyway, that's kind of how it started, and I decided to really start with like a beginner's guide. And I think my whole like theme with running is kind of, you know, separating the outcome from like who I'm becoming and the character like I'm developing to like get to these outcomes. So anyway, that kind of all like interplays with the guide.
And what does your upcoming season look like this year? Do you have a fall marathon planned, or are you switching up some distances?
Good question. You know, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants a little bit. I'm like not one person who like plans like way far ahead, and I think that's because I really like to keep doors open. And you know, so I'm going to jump in some track races in this like upcoming May and June, and some road races. But I haven't decided if I want to do another marathon yet. I might keep it a little bit shorter this year before I do another marathon.
And one last question. I noticed the sandals that you have on today. Can you show us those? What are those, and are they as comfortable as they look?
They are, okay, that's funny you think they're comfortable looking. I don't think they're comfortable looking. I saw them, I was like, I don't know if these are going to be, and actually putting them on, I was like, oh yeah, these are like really, really comfy. They're and I've been walking around in them for the past 2 days, and I like them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, we're here with Julian Wanders today. Going to talk to him about some of his past marathon experiences and some of the marathons that he's going to be getting ready for the future. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
So you ran your first marathon, was it about a month ago?
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Okay. Now, I know it wasn't your ideal first marathon experience, but from a perspective of a runner who runs a lot and does run into similar issues that you ran into, I've been calling you on my channel the People's Champion, because you were still able to run a fantastic time despite some of the problems. Aside from some of the problems that you did run into, how did you feel about the marathon that day?
Yeah, it was a tough experience, but I'm really happy that I finished, so that I could really feel what is marathon and what is marathon being empty from the start.
Sure.
So it was double more tough, I think. But it was important to feel also the effect after 30k, 35k, and I think I will get a really good experience. It was really a good experience for my future marathon, and also I learned that I need to also give more importance about the food that I'm eating before and during the marathon, so that I will work on it for the next marathon.
Can you talk a little bit about what your diet and nutrition is like when you're in Kenya? Are you eating more of a European diet, or are you eating like the Kenyans do? Can you just give us a sense of what you're eating on a day-to-day or a weekly basis?
I try to mix a little bit, mostly Kenyan food, because of course you can buy it just next to the house, no need to go to the supermarket. So my girlfriend has a restaurant in
Okay.
Italy, so every day at lunch I eat there, either chapati or rice with peas or some really Kenyan food. For dinner mostly I will change between ugali, so also Kenyan food, and otherwise pasta or rice always with meat in the evening. And for breakfast also Kenyan tea with some bread. So I would say maybe 70% Kenyan, 30% European.
What are some of the European foods that you miss when you're training in Kenya?
What I really like is cheese.
Okay.
I cannot find the good Swiss cheese. I cannot find it in Italy.
Okay. And so what changes do you think you'll make to your diet leading into your next marathon, like on race day? Or what other adjustments will you be making from last marathon to your next one?
I think I will try to eat more like I'm used to, because I tried to stop completely protein the last 3 or 4 days. I was trying to eat more, but I'm not sure it's the right thing to do. At least for me, I don't think so. I will try just to eat as I'm hungry, not too much. And also, I was using one brand for the drink. Maybe that was not the right one for me. So I will try to change that also to get used to it in training, and then see if it's better. Okay.
So does that mean you're going to start traveling with ugali for your races?
If it's what I need, I will do it. But even pasta is okay. I used to eat pasta before a long run, but also with meat, so I will just not change that.
Okay. And then what is your next marathon? Do you have one scheduled? Or are you looking forward to one in the fall? Or can you tell us more about that?
I will run next marathon in fall. So between October and December, I'm not yet sure. Of course, Valencia would be a nice option for me, because it's flat and I want to run fast, of course. And before that, I want to run a fast half marathon, so get close to my personal best.
Great. And can you tell me, do you like the new sandals from ASICS?
Yeah, they are really comfortable, actually. I don't know how they made it, but it's really comfortable.
Did you just get them this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I got a little bit of time now, a little bit of a break before the last interview of the day. I'm going to head back to the hotel. I'm having all sorts of weird equipment issues today. First, my shotgun mic decided it was going to stop working, and then having problems now with my camera batteries. This one, it keeps jumping back and forth between having 40% battery and 0 battery. When I went to go shoot the interview with Julian Wanders, the moment I pressed record, the battery died. So not really sure what's going on today. Hopefully I could switch out to a different battery, back at the hotel room, just kind of get everything reset and then finish strong. Hi, I'm Kofuzi. I'm also on YouTube. You've already had such a successful career and you're very active on social media. And I think because of those two things, you're a role model for a lot of younger female runners. How do you approach that kind of position and responsibility?
When I first came into the sport, I come into it because I like to run and I enjoy it. And I think you don't realise that automatically that role almost gets put onto you as an elite athlete. I never ever thought that that's something I'd have to not deal with, but be responsible for. And like the next generation of young females coming through, like it feels strange to think that youngsters do look up to me. But I get a lot of messages online, from young girls, even some young boys, asking everything from what do you eat before you train, how do you recover, what shoes do you wear, did you do other sports, like literally every question you can possibly think of. And I do feel responsible to make sure that, I suppose, that especially young girls understand that they can come into the sport, they have to be fueling correctly to do so. Just because I'm skinny and lean doesn't mean that I'm starving myself in order to be in this position. And I think that's something that needs to be shown to the younger generation. Everyone standing on the Olympic start line is healthy, strong, and they're there because they deserve to be there. They're doing everything correct. So for me, I think that's the important message for me to get across, and also just for youngsters to know that they can get to the top level. You can go through the Olympic Games and you can do it as a clean athlete. You can be there. just giving it everything you've got, doing, working hard, training hard. And I think that's important too, so that they know that is possible. I was very fortunate growing up. I had my mum, so I knew my mum worked her arse off to get to where she was, and she was a brilliant athlete. So I was able to sort of follow that and see it was possible. So if I can encourage one young female to get into the sport, to stay in the sport, to enjoy it, then that's my job done.
All right, thank you. I'm all cleaned up and we are going to head out to dinner. Dinner starts at 9 o'clock, which is way late for me. So I had many afternoon coffees today and hopefully we'll be all right. Made it back from dinner. It was a fantastic meal, a great way to round out this day. I didn't think I was gonna make it to a 9 p.m. dinner, but guys, I did it. I made it through the entire thing without falling asleep. So I'm proud of myself, a little victory there. It's gonna be a late night for me. There's just so much content to edit here. And I gotta get up early to not only race myself, but my race isn't until 11, but all of the pros that I talked to today, as well as countless other pros, well, not countless, but a bunch of other ASICS pros are going to be out there racing as well. And I want to get out there. We're going to try to get out to the race course about 7 a.m. to capture all the action. So I've got to try to get some sleep after I get all this work done. And I'm really looking forward to watching the pros as they race around a looped course for either a half marathon, a 10K, or a 5K. So that's gonna be it for me today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, wherever you're running, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?